Hello, good evening, everyone. How are you guys doing today? Um, mm, I am just, I decided let me go on and get on so I can, because when I get back home from the gym, I am not going to feel like it. I'll probably stretch out. Let me, um, you all hit the like button for me, okay? Make sure you guys please like, share, and subscribe, okay? As you all start coming in, please hit the like button. I want to talk about Tyre. Hey, Miss Tyranny. Love you too, Miss Tyranny. Hey, Miss Shan. Hey, Miss Muffin. Hey, Leo. Chat Town Finest. How is everybody doing today? Y'all, when I listen, it was so cold this morning. It was like 60 something. And it's still, I mean, the weather is really beautiful now. It is. The weather is really beautiful now. I need to go walking, but I'm just gonna go to the gym. I need to go to my to a class that I pay for. But I'm gonna just go to the gym because it'd be easier for me to do that. Come back home and prepare my lunch for tomorrow. And probably the dinner too. I haven't eaten I haven't made Venezuelan chicken salad in a long time. So it is so good. It's spicy though. I love spicy. How is everybody doing? I'm trying to give more people the opportunity to start getting the notifications and coming into the room. You're at the gym, Miss Muffin? I'm going over to the gym. I went to the gym this morning and did a mile and a half. I am totally dedicated. So I went to Aldi's and bought me some more stuff for my smoothies. Okay, because I did a smoothie this morning. It was so freaking good. And so um I'm gonna make my Venezuelan chicken salad, but that smoothie was so good. Oh, then y'all, I went to Sprouts. And when I went to Sprouts, I went Sprouts sell the yogurt that I love, Sprouts and Whole Foods. And I actually did research and it is the yogurt that Chick-fil-A sales, right? So I was like, that yogurt that Chick-fil-A sells is so freaking good. And so I started researching and I found out the brand that they use, right? But you're paying $5 for a small little thing. So I go into Whole Foods or into Sprouts and get my yogurt. And when I was in Sprouts, I was walking out and I was like, let me check these watermelons out because I was gonna go to Millington this evening. I was like, oh my God, Sprouts has seeded watermelons. And I hope it is sweet and good. So I was like, oh my God, thank you. I got my watermelon and for my smoothie, because I was thinking, I bought so much fruit, so much frozen fruit. I was like, what kind of smoothie am I gonna do? Because that smoothie, that mango and pineapple smoothie that I made this morning, and it was so filling. That I made this morning, it was so freaking good. And I was like, I think I'm gonna do mango and orange smoothie for breakfast in the morning because it's easier after I go and work out and then come in and just make a smoothie on the run, okay, before I go to work. You guys, make sure y'all hit the like button for me. I am totally dedicated, okay, to getting back on my journey back to my regular self, like losing my weight, the weight that I had gained, when my father passed away. And it's that weight is hard to get off, but I'm so totally dedicated and motivated to do it. So I didn't think that I would be able to get up as early as I did and go to the gym this morning, but I did a real early because I have to go to work too. So I have to be back way before I go to work. But of course, the gym is not far. And I went in there and ran my mile and a half, and came back and made my smoothie. It was so freaking good. Okay. Anyways, I already know Steven. Like when I was on my health kick before, Steven was really motivating me because Steven, as a trainer, he was telling me the things that I can eat and can't eat. And believe it or not, he be in the bushes. Okay. So when I get fruit and stuff and it's too sweet, but I can eat watermelon. I want to cut into that watermelon so bad, but I'm probably just gonna, because I'm gonna go to the gym, just gonna do a smoothie and prepare my Venezuelan chicken salad. And I'll probably show y'all how I do that. What's up, the site dog? Cypress, what's going on? What's been going on? Is God still out? Is he still out of jail? Have they went and got him yet? You guys, make sure you guys hit the like button for me, okay? Make sure you guys please like, share, and subscribe, okay? All right, what I want to talk about the closing arguments in Tyreenichols' case. Now, as you all know, I have not um really talked a lot about the Tyreenichols case, and one of the reasons that I haven't talked a lot about the Tyreenichols case, he said, "Good, yeah, got it good, okay." It's because of how heinous the crime was. Because that was definitely a crime. Those officers beat that young man to death like that. I don't care if he did run; they had no reason to beat him like that and then lie about it. I mean, that's just, I don't know what they could have ever been thinking about to do dare do another human being like that just because they felt like they could. And so I don't talk a lot about it because it's so grotesque. Stuff like that is really emotional to me. The idea, that I do hold the good police officers and law enforcement officers in high regards, right? And and the mere fact that you have officers like that or ex-officers like that get on the force and they make all of the hardworking people that are actually good people that come on to protect and serve, um, they make them look really, really bad. Tyree was not a threat to those officers. Hey, Miss Nola girl. Hey, Angel the real boss. He was not a threat to their person. It was just, we can do it and we're going to do it because we feel like we can get away with it. Okay. So that little small task force, because the Scorpion unit is a small task force, okay, and they have many other task force. If they shut the Scorpion, if they shut the Scorpion unit down, and which they wouldn't shut it down, they would just change the name, right? So they might go, well, because people that don't know anything about the police department is screaming on every rooftop, the Scorpion unit. um we'll just change the name. We'll just call it the crime task force, okay? And they'll still have the same damn folks on it, okay? Minus the officers that has been, okay, fired. I think people have made the Scorpion unit into something that's just really comical at this point. um but because they make small task force like that all the time. They're supposed to be targeting certain areas or fixated on certain things as far as crime. But it's just really unfortunate what they did to Tyree. I hate that he lost his life, and I know it's got to be devastating to his mother, his family, to see to have to go through this because she's in the courtroom. She's had to testify. She's got to listen to defense attorneys try and make her son into the villain, right? Which is just really sad. So that's why I say pray for her. Hold on, you guys. Let's see. They did closing arguments. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. Oh, Lord have mercy. Hold on, you all.
Harm independent of that posed by the separate offense. Unless you find beyond a reasonable doubt that the alleged victim's removal or confinement exceeded that which was necessary to accomplish the alleged offenses of second-degree murder, aggravated assault acting in concert, official misconduct, and official oppression, and was not essentially incidental to any one of these offenses, you must find the defendant not guilty of aggravated kidnapping or any of its lesser included offenses.
Okay, so that's just the judge reading, I guess, the rules or whatever. Hey, that dude. Hey, Joy Love Scott.
Aggravated kidnapping. Any person who attempts to commit aggravated kidnapping is guilty of a crime. For you to find a person guilty of criminal attempt, the state must have proven beyond a reasonable doubt the existence of the following essential elements. 1, that the defendant intended to commit the specific offense of aggravated kidnapping. And 2, that the defendant did some act intending to cause an essential element of the offense to occur, and at the time believed the act would cause the element to occur without further action on the defendant's part. Intended and intending have previously been defined in the.
You all make sure you hit the like button for me. It helps to put the video into the algorithm, okay?
Have been set out on page 23. Facilitation of aggravated kidnapping. Any person who facilitates the offense of aggravated kidnapping is guilty of a crime. For you to find the defendant guilty of this offense, the state must have proven beyond a reasonable doubt the existence of the following essential elements. 1, that the defendant knew that another person intended to commit an aggravated kidnapping, but did not have the intent to promote or assist the commission of the offense or to benefit in the proceeds or result of the offense. And 2, that the defendant furnished substantial assistance to that person in the commission of aggravated kidnapping. And 3, that the defendant furnished such assistance knowingly. Knowingly intended and intending have previously been defined in these instructions. The requirement of knowingly is also established if it is shown that the defendant acted intentionally. The essential elements necessary to constitute aggravated kidnapping and definitions have been set out on page 23. Kidnapping. Any person who commits the offense of kidnapping is guilty of a crime. For you to find a defendant guilty of this offense, the state must have proven beyond a reasonable doubt the existence of the following essential elements. 1, that the defendant knowingly removed or confined Tyreenichols unlawfully so as to interfere substantially with his liberty. And 2, that the removal or confinement was under circumstances that exposed Tyreenichols to substantial risk of bodily injury. The instructions regarding removal or confinement, as explained above in the italicized instructions for aggravated kidnapping under this count 3, applied to the lesser included offense. Refer to those italicized instructions there. bodily injury, and knowingly have previously been defined in these instructions. Attempt to commit kidnapping. Any person who attempts to commit kidnapping is guilty of a crime. For you to find a person guilty of criminal attempt, the state must have proven beyond a reasonable doubt the existence of the following essential elements. 1, that the defendant intended to commit the specific offense, kidnapping. And 2, that the defendant did some act intended to cause an essential element of the offense to occur, and at the time believed the act would cause the element to occur without further action on the defendant's part. Intended and intending have previously been defined in these instructions. The essential elements necessary to constitute kidnapping and definitions have been set out on page 27. Facilitation of kidnapping. Any person who facilitates the offense of kidnapping is guilty of a crime. For you to find a defendant guilty of this offense, the state must have proven beyond a reasonable doubt the existence of the following essential elements. 1, that the defendant knew.
Okay, you guys, I'm gonna forward this a little bit.
Kidnapping, but did not have the intent to promote or assist in the commission of the offense, or.
Y'all remember? That's what Tyree was supposed to have for dinner on January 7th. You heard his mom, Miss Rovon Wells, testify. Tyree was her baby, the youngest of 4, 29 years old. It's a Saturday. He left the house that day. She said he came in the kitchen to talk to her before he walked out. Saw her taking the chicken out. Asked what she was making. Sesame chicken. If you remember her testimony, she said he kind of made a rubbing on his belly, like, yum, yum. I'll be home for dinner. But he didn't make it. When Tyree left home that afternoon, "29 years old, that house on Castlegate." That's what Tyree looked like. Tyree had a special relationship with his mom. You heard her talk a little bit about it. I don't know if y'all noticed in one of the pictures that was introduced as part of the autopsy, had his mom's name tattooed on his shoulder, Rovon. Tyree left that afternoon, and he never made it home for dinner because he came into contact with these officers. And the next time Miss Rovon saw her son, he was in the hospital in the wee hours of January 8th, and this is what he looked like. After coming in contact with these officers. And he almost made it home. He's so close. There's a map that's been introduced, and it shows you all the locations that we've talked about. Look how close they are. You heard Ms. Rovon testify that to get to the scene where all this happened, just basically 80 feet from her front door. And at that first stop, that chaotic stop, when there's so much screaming and so much chaos, one of the things you hear Tyree say is that I'm just trying to go home. He's just trying to get home to his mom's house. But he doesn't make it because he comes in contact with these officers. One of the things that was said in trial this week when Officer Mills was testifying. When the defense attorneys asked a question and said, so Tyree was whipping y'all's tail I don't know if you remember this. Tyree was whipping y'all's tail. Tyree, the smallest person out there, 5 officers. Tyree was whipping y'all's tail. To show you pictures that were introduced into evidence of each of those officers at the end of that night. Officer Bain. Officer Emmett Martin. Officer Demetrius Haley. Officer Justin Smith. Officer Desmond Mills. They were getting their tails whipped. This is them that night, after the fact. Can you see the picture of Tyree again? And about the same time those pictures are taken by TBI, Mr. Rodney Wells, Tyree's stepdad, takes this picture at St. Francis Hospital. So Tyree was whipping their tail. That's what they want you to believe? I know y'all seen a ton of video this week. When you go back to deliberate, you'll have that video. You'll be able to watch any part of it that you want. You'll be able to zoom in. You'll be able to slow it down. And I'm going to show you some video again. I'm going to ask you to listen to things and watch things, but with certain intent, looking for certain things, okay? You've seen it all, but now we kind of have to put the pieces together. And the first thing I want you to do, and this is different.
You all make sure you hit the like button for me.
I'm going to play a portion of Bean's body-worn camera. And I'm going to just set it up a bit. Y'all seen it. Bean is the officer who's riding with Officer Mills. Officer Mills testified that he sees someone matching the description in the rear view. They kind of do a U-turn, and then you see Officer Bean jump out of the car and start sprinting towards Tyree. And if y'all remember, as Officer Bean gets to Tyree and tackles him to the ground, shortly thereafter, his body-worn camera, which is worn here on the front of the chest, falls off. So we continue to hear the audio, but the camera's facing down, so it goes
Hey,
black.
Diane.
But you can hear the audio. And I want you to watch and listen with me in just a few moments to that clip. What I want you to listen for, and we're going to listen to the portion where everything happens to Tyree. We're going to hear those first 2 kicks from Officer Martin, where Bean and Smith are holding down. We're going to hear the punches. And then the final 2 kicks from Haley and Martin. And I say we're going to hear because even though this body cam is on the ground somewhere over here, we don't really know where, some of those impacts you can hear. You can hear the kick making contact. You can hear some of those punches. And keep in mind, that camera is not on his chest. That camera is over on the ground somewhere. And you can hear it. So we need to listen for that. But more so, what I want you to listen to is Tyree. Because these are some of the last words we hear Tyree say. And the first thing that you'll hear him do, and you've heard it this week, but I want you to listen, really listen, is yell for his mom. And he's yelling for his mom because he wants his mom, I'm sure, but also, how close is he to home? How close is he to his mom? So listen to that. And then listen to what Tyree sounds like as the video goes on. Moaning, pain, but listen all the way through. And if we can have the lights turned off and we'll play that video. y'all will remember, you're probably familiar enough by now, but every time a body cam turns on, there's about a minute that goes by that there's no audio. And then after a minute, the audio pops on. Again, I'm going to focus on Tyree. What was Tyree saying?
Get your hand! Give me a hand! Turn around! Lay flat! Lay flat like that! Lay flat like that! Lay flat! Lay flat! Lay flat like that!
Thing I want to point out is after he says that Haley came in, made an assessment of the scene, surveyed Tyreenichols, and decided to deliver a kick expertly to the certain area that would allow them to then cuff Mr. Nichols. Maybe Mr. Cameron has some X-ray vision.
So that was the prosecution closing, and this is the defense closure. Closing.
Tyreenichols had a gun, whether or not he had a knife, whether or not he knew self-defense. He didn't know whether he had murdered anybody. He didn't know whether or not he had kidnapped somebody or carjacked somebody. Because those are the things that Denarius Bean has to interact with on a nightly basis. Those are the types of arrests that he's made. At 8:30, Denarius Bean was a passenger in a vehicle that had a person in handcuffs because they had a warrant. and he hears that a person has been tased and pepper sprayed and had gotten away from his fellow officer. That's all that Tadarius Bean knew. So at 8:32 on that same evening, while he's a passenger looking into the night for a suspect, not knowing what he had done or who he had done it to, he looks out the window and sees the person who meets that description. Tadarius Bean, after he saw that suspect and met that description, would have a faith that would intercept with somebody who, according to his mom, didn't have it all together. At 8:32, Tadarius Bean, not knowing anything about this man, did this.
So that's them chasing Tyree.
That's what he's trying to do. He sees a person that meets a description and he runs to get that person. No more, no less. He doesn't know anything about this. He doesn't know that this is in the man's car. None of those items belong to that man. But he doesn't know that. All he knows is that this person, after being lawfully stopped and attempted to be searched, took off running and overcame 3 grown men. And he attempts to do his job. I told you at the beginning that the law in this case would come from the judge, and that hasn't changed. But the facts come from this stand. And the facts that turned in red on this all support not guilty verdicts on all counts for Tadarius Bean. Every witness supported Bean's not guilty. Every one of them. When asked about him holding this person and why he's holding him, every witness says the same thing. You can't let a person go if he has one cuff on and one cuff off. You just can't do it. Every witness, all of the documentary evidence supports Bean being not guilty. You see those items that are stolen. That's from the person who was just getting sesame chicken. But Bean doesn't do anything to punish this person. He's trying to apprehend him. Every witness says that. Every witness and all the videos support the fact that he's not guilty. And we'll go into these in more detail in the moments to come. If you isolate the actions of Tadarius Bean, did he have probable cause to chase the suspect? Clearly he did. Was he proper to chase the suspect? Did he chase him in a proper way? All of the witnesses say the same thing. Yes. The evidence shows that Bean, while pepper sprayed, maintained in the constant struggle with the suspect. You heard from the state's witness, Mills, that he pepper sprayed. Not only did you hear from him, but afterwards, when you hear this conversation, the so-called high-fiving about what happened, you hear during that conversation, Bean talking about his eyes burning. But in addition to talking about his eyes burning, he also talks about the fact that I bust my shit again too, meaning his knee. And you'll hear him talk about how the sutures in his knee open while he's out there on that particular night. You'll hear that you heard rather, there's no direct proof of any kicks coming from Bean whatsoever. The only strikes, if you slow it down, you take it at a quarter speed in particular, you see that all strikes are to the forearm after Tyreenichols is turned over and is reaching up. He pushes the officers off of him while he's on the ground, and they're asking for him to get on his stomach so they can put cuffs on him. It's impractical and dangerous for Bean to let the suspect's hands go. And you heard about the one handcuff on, and you saw the experts in the case. And once again, you should judge Bean's actions based off of the training that he received, and you saw the evidence regarding the training. Scorpion Unit, once again, the evidence supports the fact that it was a street crimes operation to restore peace in our neighborhood. that the unit was created to interact with gangs, violent criminals, and to apprehend guns, dope, and money. And they were being told how successful it was. Created in 2021. And it consisted of several teams. And you also heard from both witnesses about how Team 1 was sent to the most dangerous places in response to the most dangerous spikes in crime. And you heard from Mills and Hemphill regarding how they were being congratulated from the brass at the top about the effectiveness of the unit. You had to be selected into the unit. They didn't just ask you to, well, you want to apply to the Scorpion team. They would come and talk to your superiors and ask you, does this person have the type of character and abilities to serve on this type of interactive team? Let's go back to those actions on January 7th. Just like what came from the witnesses, they met on Flickr at 6 for roll call. They were assigned out in that East Memphis area due to the spike in auto burglaries and thefts, carjacking. Person driving away from blue lights is indicative of those types of activities. Detective Bean was part of a two-man car, Mills being the driver of that car, and Bean was the passenger. At around 8:30, Detective Bean and Mills have a person in custody with warrants, and they let the misdemeanor warrants go in order to respond to that other location. And the suspect had been tased and pepper sprayed. That comes out over the radio. So that's what their interactions are based on. Detective Bean and Mills see the person, and you saw earlier at 8:32, Bean makes contact from inside his car with him visually, and when he tries to speak to him, the guy takes off running. And then you see that 3-minute struggle. Now, Detective Bean and Detective Justice Smith get to the person almost simultaneously, but Detective Bean doesn't know Justice Smith is even out there on a perimeter. He knows that he's running after this person who has made eye contact with him and made the decision to run away from him. That's all that he knows, and he tries to apprehend him. He used the use of force continuum, and you'll get a chance to read that yourself. Visual presence, verbal commands, and then how it escalates into hard hands. And you don't have to go step by step. They can jump in escalation. Use of pepper spray, the use of verbal judo, the use of hard hands slapping a person's wrist. None of those are out of the ordinary or anything wrong. Once the suspect was finally secured in handcuffs, and you look at the videos yourself, when handcuffs went on this person, nobody came up and got a kick. Nobody came up and got an extra punch. Nobody came up and shook him or did anything inappropriate to him. Once the handcuffs were on, the interaction was over. You get a chance to, when you're back there, review the policy that's been submitted as evidence. You heard from the experts regarding active and passive training, high-risk stops, the response to resistance within that policy, how hard hands and kicks and punches and slaps are a part of the hard hand apprehension process, and the use of force continuum. You heard about tunnel vision, non-lethal force, training in taser usage. The only person that had a taser on that team was Enfield at that time, and how the taser prongs, how the taser hit him. He says, and you'll hear the videos, I hit the bastard. Now here, after being questioned, and as he used the term, and I used it, browbeat, he says he didn't know for sure where they hit him. You judge by the video whether or not it looks like the tasers hit him. It's that simple. You heard from, and I asked the question of the expert, Mr. Cameron, regarding ineffective force versus excessive, because he's written about it and he's presented about it. Ineffective, if you're looking from a sky cam, looks the same as excessive. It just does. If it's not working, it looks excessive. But when you look at the body-worn cameras, and you have to do it in order to appreciate what they're trying to do and what they're going through and trying to get the guy into custody, it's showing they're not trying to punish somebody on the side of the road because you got this person's ID, or you got this person, you were involved in a crime, and we're just going to beat the heck out of you. That's not what this was about. This was trying to get this man into handcuffs. Mr. Mills regrets using his aspartame, and I'm sure he regrets the verbiage that he used. I wanted him to testify, and he did so about the time in which he changed
How are you? Hey, Miss
because
Keita.
his initial
Hey,
statement was
Clarinetta.
it was by the book. he didn't have the access of the book and looking at it and all that stuff at the time. This was a mere day or two afterwards, and he talked about how he responded and how he acted. But after hours and hours with the Department of Justice, and somebody saying, well, it sounds like you're pissed off. Yeah, it does, all of a sudden change to, well, maybe I shouldn't have used the aspartame. But in fact, he used the aspartame verbatim the way that MPD teaches you. 3 strikes to the arms. Nobody's hit this man in the head with an aspartame or with any other instrument. He does not get struck with that aspartame anywhere but where they train you, between here and here. And you'll have the opportunity to go back and look at Mill's body-worn camera in order to assess that. And it's important that you do, because it tells the story as how they are moving away from the person, and he still hasn't come into compliance with their request. The use of an aspartame happens. The witnesses in the case, when doing the opening presentation, you don't really know exactly how much a person might be incentivized by the fact that if you're looking at life and you know negotiated down to no more than 15, etc., that might play a role in saying, well, you know what, I'm going to stretch the truth this far against them. But Mills was honest. He said that their use of force, according to him, when they're holding on, and when I asked him about it, can they let go to talk about somebody striking a person at that time? He said no. The danger is still there for the officers until the handcuffs or the bracelets, as they call them, are on the person. We talked about the fact that being, you'll have an instruction regarding character witnesses. Nobody refutes the fact that Bean has the type of character that he had, that he's by the book, that he won't go get a hamburger in an issued car if they say you can't get a hamburger in your issued car. The fact that the person who came in from Mr. Taylor from college said that, hey, even when there was a little money missing, this, that, or the other, he took it so seriously that he came and got me from across campus at the law school and said, how do I deal with this? Let's go to the bank. I want this done immediately. That's the type of person that he is. Then you hear from Mr. McKinney, the one who had the pepper spray. They were in the same class. I wanted him to talk to you about how the effect that it had on him. You'll see how it affected him. But he talked about Mr. Bean's character. That is stellar. You heard from his FTO trainer, or field training officer. He's one of his favorite persons that he has trained through the years, because you tell him one time how to do it, and that's how he's going to do it person. You're the experts. The state didn't produce an expert. Think about that. The funds and things that the state might have at their availability, can't find one person to say to you all that Tadarius Bean's actions were inappropriate. You can say it low. You can try to tear it up. You can almost cry about it. You can say he just wanted to get the good old chick. But it does not change the fact that Tadarius Bean acted the way that he's supposed to act. The time for sympathies and stuff like that, I have the highest degree of respect for Ms. Wells. I didn't ask her a question. She lost her son. I understand that. Any mother who loses a son, obviously, would have pain. The driving is a privilege. A person cannot take that privilege to do whatever it might be. Driving, having to stop for blue lights, getting out of a car and acting like you might have done things that you didn't do. They don't know the answers to that as public servants while they are trying to bring this person into custody. They don't have the privilege of second guessing it. It's not fair. All of the experts indicated that Bean's actions were appropriate. And then look at the videos. Keep in mind, and it's kind of underscored when Ms. Headley was discussing it earlier, but Bean cuts that video on. The video does not all of a sudden get volume a minute later. What it means is while he's running towards the person, he hits it. And it's your body-worn camera is constantly recording, and then once you trigger it, it keeps the recording instead of recording over it. That's why the volume doesn't come on for a minute. So after he's in the course of running towards this person, supposedly going to do something to punish the man that he's never met before, he triggers his body-worn camera and gets to him and then stops him. But that's his body-worn camera that you hear her discuss about the sounds and things like that. It comes off because Tadarius Bean, while he's trying to arrest Mr. Nichols, is in that scuffle where Mr. Nichols is constantly reaching up and knocks it off. But that's his triggered body-worn camera. The officers were aware, and you heard Mr. Mills say, well, I didn't know it for days later. There's no testimony whatsoever as to what Tadarius Bean would have known as he's running towards the person, and they pass this blinking blue light. They know that there's an overhead there. That's no surprise to them. Now, as far as the person who was there and he's been talking about the hours that they've spent in front of Department of Justice, then it might change to a shocking moment. Yeah, that was the first time I knew about it. But there's been no testimony as to whether or not Tadarius Bean knew that there was a recording. What we do know is that he recorded himself because he hit that button. And you got to consider the distance and the angle of that pole camera. Next one. This is an isolation of the punches that we're talking about, and it's taken from the Skycop camera time. And so it just outlines the force that's used. The red lines at the top, you got two different kicks.
Hey, Neil.
You can't tell whether they land, and Ms. Headley talked about a thud on a camera, from the sound of a camera. That's not the same as looking at something and telling whether or not that type of force was administered. And you definitely don't know whether or not it's being seen while Tadarius Bean is looking down at this guy trying to bend his arm in a way to put handcuffs on. The baton being deployed. If you'll note, and I forgot the exact phrase, but it sounded like clear or move back, when he pushed the baton out, they didn't stand in a location around Mr. Nichols to make this ass baton have to hit him in the head. They cleared so he could get to the place where they tell you to administer the blow to the arm. That's why they get out of the way like that. And that's how you're supposed to. Then it appears that Martin slaps him with an open hand, and then Martin hits him. And nobody is here to say Martin did not hit him. Martin's not here. So as to what was going on in his mind and what he thought he was going to do, there's been no testimony regarding that and how Tadarius Bean, who's holding on to an arm in these seconds, can all of a sudden say, hey, time out, everybody. Y'all stop. Everybody stop. And know whether or not Mr. Nichols is just going to stand there and say, we're all good now. You can put the handcuffs on me. But what I do know, brutal though it sounds, after the hitting, he failed when they pushed him put him to the ground, and the interaction stopped while he's back on the ground. They're on him still trying to get the handcuffs on him, and they still can't get it until somebody comes in, really, until they can get the man's legs to stop moving and hold the leg for a second so that they can get him steady enough to put the handcuffs on him. And when you're looking at it, look at it from the fact that you're trying not to break his arm or dislocate his arm. That's what the concern of Tadarius Bean is, and you can tell by their body movements. They're trying not to hurt his arms. That's what they're focusing on. They're trying to get those arms behind him, and he won't put them in a position where they can put the cuffs on him. And it's that simple. There's a lot of discussion about the size of the individual. Tadarius Bean's 5'10". Tyreenichols is 6'3", according to the hospital records. According to the records, he's 180, and he's 6'3". Next. I indicated that I would not talk about what he was before or after that night because I'm not concerned with trying to in any way disparage Mr. Nichols. I know that when they got to the door, that for the initial interaction with the police, it was, I don't know it. Until the police, and you'll recall it, you'll get a chance to play that video. The police had to say, so y'all hadn't lived here that long or what have you. This person's ID says that he lives here. And eventually they say, okay, what's going on? They don't know what all he's into. But there definitely had to have been something that this person said, I don't know. So you're expecting Mr. Bean to know the level of force and the level of coercion that it would take to get this man in the handcuffs when his own folks say that they don't know him. We know that he did drive 2 miles away from the blue lights and sirens. You'll see the reenactment. You heard the testimony of Mr. Hempfield, and you'll see the videos that are involved, and you'll see the camera inside the car of Mr. Martin. You know that he ran from the first scene, and he ran from Detective Bean. That was from the testimony of Hempfield and from Mr. Mills. Nichols drove in a manner to avoid police detention. That's according to Mr. Hempfield's testimony. We know that he refused to stop, and he subsequently resist arrest. Mr. Nichols would know that he had dope in the car and the stolen credit cards and the stolen ID. Does he have a right to resist being stopped? All of the experts say that he doesn't. Ms. Headley says that he doesn't. And I agree that he doesn't. Does he ignore lawful commands for his hands to be handcuffed? All 3 experts said that he did. He ignored those lawful commands. Was he actively resisting by running and walking and pulling away from Detective Bean? And the answer is yes. And that's according to all of the experts that are involved. And the actions at 6705 Ross Ridge are important because they show that this is not just somebody trying to get home for chicken or whatever it might be. This is the actions of a person who's doing whatever he is between those cars, trying to avoid being arrested because he knows what he has done and why he's trying to get away from them. They don't know that. They don't have the ability to check inside of his mind. They don't have the ability to even know he's out at 6705.
Okay, now here's the thing. I know defense attorneys do what defense attorneys do, but the thing about it is, regardless to what Tyreenichols had did or didn't do, okay, they was just making assumptions. They don't know what he did. They said he fit a description. They're trying to say Nichols was running away from the officers because he had did something. Regardless of what he did, they did not have the right to do what they did to him, and that was kill him. What happened was they beat him up because they was mad because they had to chase him. That's what happened. Um, they caught themselves gonna beat him, and it went too far, and even they knew that it had gone too far, and they still didn't try to stop. Right? This is just a prime example of taking advantage of a situation because you feel like you have the power to do it and then cover it up. Okay, so that's why I'm glad that they're at trial right now. Okay, because Tyreenichols can't get up. They killed him. They said he was running. Seemed like to me he was really scared. Okay. And that happens all the time. I remember when I was working up in felony response, I remember this detective. There was this detective that worked in robbery. He had clear, he had like clear, like real clear blue eyes. Not like Luke. They was like a real clear blue evil. I cannot think I can't think of his name. He was really okay. He was an okay guy. And so I remember this officer named he was a sergeant named Wiley Taylor. Okay, I love Wiley. Wiley said that they used to be partners. He said, and this guy, they was in the South Memphis area. And when they got out, this guy just took out running. He just took out running. And Wiley was a really nice guy. So he was not going to beat anybody to death. Okay, he was real funny. He knew how to tell police stories. He was just an awesome guy. And so he said, when they caught the guy, he said they caught him and they asked him, man, why you run? He said, he was like, look at this man right here, talking about the white officer that had the clear blue eyes. I ain't gonna lie, I'd have ran from him too. I mean, if y'all had seen his eyes, y'all have ran. He had real clear blue, like colored ocean eyes that could be real scary. It wasn't like they was beautiful because he looked a little scary. Okay. like he be out in the fields that burning crosses, okay? But so that happens. Oftentimes, people get spooked and police officers are running at them. They don't know what's going on. Instead of, everybody, especially, we don't know what state of mind Tyree was in. Some people are going to run, like, what the hell going on? So they take out running because they are in fear. Most officers, because they need to come and go to the gym, okay? They get mad if they have to chase you, and they will beat you up, okay? They used to anyways. Instead of saying, okay, I'll just catch him another time, okay, and arrest him if he did anything wrong. But what they did to Tyreenichols, it's a shame what they did to him. That exercising power, overuse of force, it's just really sad. And um it's just messed up. I remember me and my mom was in North Memphis and saw them chasing after this YN. They had two of them standing on the corner looking out. They was fixing to beat that dude down till until everyone stopped. That's probably what they was getting ready to do because they don't like to chase. If you running from, please don't run in the woods, okay? Don't run behind no houses. That's That's I was going to say excluded, but that's how when cars ride by, they can't see behind the house. Um, don't do that. Okay, just if you clean, just go on and stop and show them your whatever you ID you got, and if you feel like you've been done wrong, if you feel like you've been did wrong, go to like internal affairs. But if you're gonna run from them, okay, don't run. I wish these young don't run from them. Okay, um, even if you run from them, they are not supposed to kill you. Okay, because that's what they did to Tyreenichols. Okay, but just try to stay out. If you run, just stay out. And on the streets and stuff, so that people can see where cars are driving by. People can see you. Okay. Because if you running from them, and they already a lot of them, some of them are lazy, and they got to chase you. Now they ain't gonna chase you. You ain't got to worry about that because they ain't even got the wind to chase you. A lot of them, but just don't run behind no houses. Okay, just stay out in the street and on, where everybody can see you. Because if you go in the wooded area, you going to the med. Okay, it's unfortunate, but that's what's going on. And I think because of what has happened to Tyreenichols, you know I don't think they would be they're too scared to be as brutal anymore, but you're going to go to the med. Okay. So it's a damn shame, but that's what's going on. Anyways, you guys, I wanted to play a little bit of that. Okay. It was in a wooded area. Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Um, I wanted to play a little bit of that because we see that their attorneys or whatever trying to do whatever they can. It don't make sense. They're gonna do some time because they sitting up talking about Tyree had did something. Hell, what the hell they got to do with anything? If he had did something that he wasn't supposed to do, what's that got to do with police officers killing him? They don't have a defense. Okay, so I know they going to jail because that's not a defense. Okay. Anyways, you guys, rest in peace to Tyreenichols. In Cyprus. Lord have mercy. But anyways, y'all, rest in peace to Tyreenichols. Okay. Rest in peace to him. And my love and my heart goes out to his mother. When I was leaving court on Friday, I saw her in person. I did. And there was with a real, I don't know if that was her. It couldn't have been her security. Oh, excuse me, because it must have been a lawyer and a daughter or granddaughter or something. But they had that lady. I know had been on the stand, and I think the defense attorneys are trying, they wearing her out. And that lady was stressed out. She was. So we're gonna pray for her. Because I know this has to be a terrible thing to have to relive this, seeing your son's last moments and hearing him call for his mother for help. And oh, good God Almighty. But God be with her. Because nobody wants to lose their children and then have video of the last moments of your child calling your name and begging for mercy by people who are supposed to be protected and serving. It's just really just sad to me. It really is. And I want to say this also, um, and only because I was looking at my cousin. Y'all know I told y'all my first cousin was she was in the Castelia Heights area. She was on her motorcycle last week, and I really believe somebody hit her on purpose. Okay, I think it's not a vehicular homicide. I think it's a straight up homicide. I think whoever hit her, they hit her on purpose, and I'm told that she was hit on purpose, and then um when she was hit, as she was going around that curve, y'all know when you're going into the Castelia neighborhood right there at Lamar and Garfield, um then a car hit her, right? And it was, it's really sad to me when I see her sister, who is my first cousin also, on, she's on Facebook, and they were saying instead of helping my cousin, people was taking video, and that's how I know that it was probably it was on purpose. And she had, they after she was hit, then a car ran over her and knocked off of the bike, and she, my cousin was my cousin says that there was body parts and stuff missing. So what I want to say is, because Quail was she was a young mother. Okay, she has all of her children are still minors. She had 5 children except for 2, and they're just teenagers. They're adults, but they're young adults, like in their teens. They're not 20. I don't believe her oldest son is 20. I think he's not like 19. So I believe that it was on purpose. And I really wish, if somebody knows something about that, I wish that they would come forward. I don't think that it was just a random hit and run. I think I think that somebody did it on purpose, and I think that it was a woman. Okay. It happened at like 1 o'clock in the morning. I really do. I believe that it was a woman. And we don't ever know, when these women are off of their rockers, um, why they do stuff. Okay. She was out at 1 something in the morning, and she was going home. I don't know, she didn't I don't know where she was coming from. But if somebody, because I don't believe that was a mistake, if somebody follow her and hit her and knock off of her bike, what they mad about? Okay. So, I really wish somebody would come forward and tell who it was that hit her and knocked her off of her bike. Because I just don't believe that it was, you know, I don't believe that it was a mistake. And then, if somebody hits her and knocks her off of her bike, and then a car comes right and then run her over, it's something wrong with that. Because I get to thinking about, even at night, and Quail was a thick girl. If you see a person, I think even at night, if a human being is laying in the street, you're going to know it's a human, right? You still can decipher a human from even an animal. I be swerving trying not to hit squirrels. I know you're gonna see a human, and you're gonna do whatever you can to not run over whatever it is. And I think that you can tell a human from an object. Okay. You sure right, Miss Muffin. But anyways, God is gonna take care of that. I can tell you that right now. That's what's gonna happen. God is gonna take care of it. And I just believe that God is already taking care of it right now. I thought about that as I was talking about because I see the like my cousin is she's so devastated. My poor uncle has had, that's my dad's brother's child, has his youngest child. My uncle has had so many strokes, okay? But he is still determined, okay? And when my dad died, my uncle was calling me every single day because my dad and my uncle was very tight. But my uncle was calling me every day, even though he was devastated, to make sure I was okay. And now 2 years later he lose his baby daughter, and it's really it's really bothersome to me because my uncle ain't saying nothing, okay? And what's so bothersome to me is like when my grandmother started, when she first started having strokes from complications of diabetes, she stopped talking. My uncle has basically stopped talking, and that bothers me. When I go, how he doing? He ain't said nothing all day. I'm scared that that has really did something to him where he's having little light strokes and they don't know it. Okay, so whoever did this, I know somebody always knows something. That little light blue car that I put up there, go and look at that video. Somebody needs to come forward and get that $2,000. Okay, and even if it's even if not just for the money, but just morally you want to do the right thing because a mother with 5 children was taken away from her kids. Okay. um Anyways, you guys, I was thinking about that, but I also wanted to talk about, what is it, how do you all pronounce his name? Shadur. Is it Shadur? I never knew how to pronounce it. Shadur Sanders is suing the NFL for $100 million, um, for pain and suffering, for mental anguish, and all of that. Okay, He's suing the NFL for that. And you know what? I'm not mad at Shador. Okay, he says a lot of mental anguish. Hold on. Now, people mad at Shador. They say that he's arrogant or whatever. It says, let's see. It goes like this: a crestfallen Shador Sanders enthusiast is suing the NFL for $100 million over a much hyped quarterback's disappointing fifth round draft. Wait a minute, Shador Sanders fan sues NFL. Oh, so it says Shador Sanders fan. I'm sorry, y'all. I read that so wrong. Okay, Shador Sanders fan sues NFL for $100 million over emotional distress caused by low draft pick. Okay, so they're saying that Shadur Sanders fan is suing the NFL for over $100 million because of a low draft pick. They said that they put Shadur all the way down in the bottom. Okay. I guess let me read it because I sure read it wrong. It says a crestfallen Shadur Sanders fan enthusiast is suing the NFL for $100 million over the much hyped quarterback's disappointing fifth round draft pick, claiming he suffered emotional distress and trauma as a fan and consumer because the 23-year-old phenomenon wasn't selected earlier. It was immediate frustration, the fan who filed the federal lawsuit, as John Doe told the Independent, on the condition his name on the condition his name not be published. This guy was projected to be the first or second round pick, no later than the top 5, and to watch mediocre players be chosen before him was frustrating. John Doe, 55, described the draft day as one of the biggest days of a player's life. And to all the NFL owners collude and not draft him, It was mentally frustrating and debilitating. Doe, who said he has no personal connection to Sanders, went on, for them to believe that they can just do this and there's no recourse, it has to stop. Okay, so Shador, he's a fan. Okay, Shador is not suing the NFL for $100 million. One of his fans is suing the NFL for $100 million because they chose mediocre players over him. And he said it was a lot of emotional distress on his part because he was continuously waiting for him to be drafted. And then they put him down in the 5th round pick. And I'm going to tell y'all something. Anybody can sue for anything. Okay. I wouldn't be surprised if he don't get some money. Okay. Because, these folks be suing. I was looking at a lady had sued J.C. Penney's. Y'all know J.C. Penney's used to have a salon, and they might still do. And they didn't do her hair right. And she sued them for $1 million. She was up under distress because they colored her hair wrong, and they cut the hair too short. She wanted shoulder length. They cut it a little bit shorter, and she said that it put her in a lot of distress, and she won $1 million. She sued them and won. Okay, I think I'm gonna sue me somebody. Okay, I should have sued a whole lot of people a long time ago, but I wouldn't have got a damn thing. Okay, because they ain't got nothing to give. Okay. But yeah, I'm gonna have to change that. So one of his fans is suing the NFL. Says my niece was telling me this guy sued Red Bull because it didn't give him. I'm telling you, these lawsuits that these people file, you would think they were not gonna get nothing. They be getting some money. Shoot, I can think of a lot of things. Shoot, it seemed like it be all the broke people committing all the offenses against other people. Okay, you'll lose money trying to sue them. Okay, ain't nobody make the money but the lawyers, because you ain't gonna break even. You ain't gonna get a dime. And he won. I'm telling you, Lord, I'm gonna keep my eyes open from now on when I go. Most people be on the run so much they don't even have time to be thinking about trying to sue somebody else. But hey, I'm telling you, people getting rich doing it. They know how to do it. They are professional suers. If I'm saying it right, professional suers or something like that. Anyways, you guys, I also want to talk about Shannon Sharpe. Okay, Shannon Sharpe, Monique and Shannon Sharpe. Monique is she did a comedy show. Okay, and she brought up Shannon Sharpe. Okay, now I talked about that before as Monique, had told Shannon when she went on to Club Shay Shay to do an interview. She told him he need to give him somebody his age that truly loves him. It says comedian Monique scolded Shannon Sharpe after she tried to warn him about messing with younger women. During an October 2023 appearance on Shannon's Club Shay Shay podcast, Monique told Shannon, "You better take your old ass and get you somebody to love you. He need him an old fat gal who can bake cakes, make some smothered turkey wings, who gonna rub his feet at the nighttime and have a sip of cognac to make him feel better about himself when he come home at night." Monique 57 told Shannon that he doesn't need a 26-year-old. You don't need no 36-year-old girl. But Shannon responded enthusiastically, "I do." Y'all remember when she said, "Shannon, you don't need no 26-year-old. You don't need no 36-year-old. He said, "Monique, I do." He said it with a lot of emotion. "I do." I remember him saying it. I said, "Ain't that some shit?" But the way he said that, "I do." Good God Almighty. Woo. So when he said it like that with all of those emotions, okay, it wasn't nothing nobody could do to save him. It says, in a recent stand-up routine, Monique told the crowd, yes, I told that ninja, Shannon Sharp, leave that white bee alone. An OF model sued Shannon for $50 million last month. She's alleged that he raped her multiple times and physically abused her, but Shannon provided text messages that proves their BDSM encounters were consensual. Shannon, 56, has since stepped away from his gig as a co-host at ESPN's First Take. The former NFL star has a troubling history of being aggressive with women. He has been sued multiple times, and he reportedly settled the lawsuit. Now, here's Monique, okay? And I like Monique. Here's Monique right here. She said she tried to tell Shannon. Okay, this is what she said on her page. Monique spoke on Shannon Sharp's controversy during comedy show. Yes, I told that ninja, Shannon Sharp, to leave. And y'all see the rest, okay? Shannon Sharp allegedly choking his white woman list has now grown to 3. So this female white right here says that he choked her. She trying to get in on the money too. This duck right here, okay, this little young duck over there, they put her up to do it. I guess she feel like Shannon. We don't know how much Shannon paying her, okay? So maybe when they had their little rendezvous, maybe she charged them $200 to $300. We know the price of everything gone up. Okay, I was in Aldi's and I was looking at a roast beef and it was $300. Okay, today. So we know damn well if they was charging $200-$300, it can't even hardly buy no damn roast beef no more. So she got to I think she probably reached out to that attorney. Okay, she reached out to that attorney and they came up with a plan. Okay. And Shannon is so dumb. Poor old thing. He dumber than a fucking box of rocks. When he got comfortable with her. How in the world could you ever get comfortable with a whore? She was setting him up. Shannon, he thinking they role playing. He's so damn dumb. He thinking that they are role playing. Okay. Shannon need to find another, Shannon might need to, get his, because I don't know, because some of these folks is twisted. It's something about choking. Okay. It's something about choking that he loves. Okay. It's something ain't right about that. Because why would you want to choke somebody when you are? It's too many ways to be freaking and to be hurting folks. Now, when you start talking about, I want you to choke me, just like these prostitutes were saying that this dentist used to come and pick them up on the street and pay them, and he liked to see if they could pull his teeth. He was a real freak, okay? I hope he retired, okay? He wanted for them to pull his teeth. And for each teeth that they could pull out of his damn head, he'd give them $75, okay? And they said they couldn't get a teeth out of his head to save their soul. They said they'd be pulling, and when they would pull, he would be I mean, it was just, they said he would be having orgasms all over the damn place. The harder they pull to try to get his damn teeth out of his head. Now, he was a dentist, so he might have had them teeth glued up in his head, and he knew that they wouldn't be able to pull them. They said they'd be all in his mouth. They would get strings and wire plows and everything to try to pull his teeth out of his head. This is a medical doctor, a dentist, whatever dentists are, okay? They're doctors. So we know that a lot of people with money can be twisted. So Shannon Sharp likes to role play and he likes to choke, okay? It's something wrong with that, okay? Because I mean, I don't understand why folks be wanting to. I mean, if it's about pleasure, why would you want to choke somebody and bring in pain? I mean, I don't know. Y'all know I already have a paranoid spirit. Okay, so it's that strikes me as like serial killer ish, like serial killer ish. So I don't know, but it seemed like to me they trying to get a payday. Now let me just say this: I don't really believe that it's gonna go that far because number one, they're trying to hang old Shay Shay on the cross. Okay, um, you know, black women said that they go. Black women saying that they not gonna stand behind him, but they may as well stand behind him. He been not want no damn black women. Before this came out, Shannon wasn't messing with no black women. So black women just need to calm down. Okay. Stop letting the media make an ass at you. He ain't been one no black woman in many years. Okay. So, but I don't think it's gonna go that far because I mean, it's not like they were underage. They was agreeing to get choked out because they wanted some money. Okay. And so because Shannon is frugal, see, they're a bunch of damn fools. You already know if it's all around all around the entertainment industry that Shannon is frugal. You don't need to fool with him. He got to know he must be from the damn backwoods. Okay, that when he started messing with some of these new aged women that ain't they about a coin, okay? A coin by any means necessary, okay? Um, he gotta know that that they want something, they gonna set him up. Because if it's their damn fault, because if Shannon Sharp is frugal, what you need to do is you already know that it's a transaction. I need my 3,000. Okay. How much you charge? If you want to choke me out, Shannon, like they say you like to do, you wants to choke somebody, you want to choke somebody, and while this sound like that MK Ultra stuff too. Okay. You want to choke somebody out while you having your oar to the gasm. Shannon, you're gonna have to go ahead if you into that. If you sick and twisted like him and you money hungry like that, you need to give me 6,000. Okay, you need to give me 10,000. Okay, and then they're not gonna have to worry about Shannon because they say he don't like to spend no money. Okay, so maybe it ain't no fun when he do it with the. See, he probably gonna stop. He gonna leave women alone altogether. That's what I think. Cause see, you haven't had not one man come out about him. Okay, but from my understanding, some of the men be talking about. I've listened to some of these men that deal with these men on the down low. They talks about the women like a damn dog. These they call the women fish. These fish only getting $40. I wish a ninja would. I mean, they be giving the women $40 and they be giving the men $200-$300. Okay. So evidently Shannon paid his men real good because ain't not now came out and exposed him about choking them out. Okay. Leo says sounds like the dentist on the movie Little Shop of Horror. And now that was on that documentary, Hooker's Point. Yeah, Auntie Shay. Yeah, Auntie Shay Shay. I'm telling y'all know I never listen. I don't mean no harm, and I'm not. I don't promote prostitution or anything like that. I wish these young women would value their bodies. It's illegal to sell your body, so don't go and be no prostitute. Okay, it's against the law. Let me just put that disclaimer out there. I don't promote that, but if I was gonna be a prostitute, ain't nowhere in the head. These girls doing anything when they say a little change, it's definitely a little change. They ain't making nobody pay no bills no more. I remember a time folks paid mortgages. They already knew they had to pay the light bill. Give me some on my light bill. They just want something on it. Girl, I did such and such. I got half of the light bill. Now I gotta go and get in the car with such and such for 5 minutes to get the other half. I tricked off on him. I tricked off on that ninja and got me some chicken. Okay. They tricking off for chicken. Jack Purtle's chicken, as I always say. Okay, they shaking their ass in somebody's face for some chicken. Okay. And if you mess around and get her the fries with the gravy, she ain't going home to her kids that night. Okay. So that's how people don't value themselves and their bodies anymore. They're being taught it's all about break a ninja breaking. And a lot of these men are just as bad. Okay. A bunch of I just don't understand why people got to do all. I don't know. I don't understand it either. Whatever happened to just having regular sex? I mean, why you got to be choking? Now they want, they want to tie you up. I don't understand how these women would ever let any man tie their hands up so that they are vulnerable. You don't know what he gonna do to you. And these damn men either. These men would go and pick up prostitutes and go to the hotel and tell they want to play that dominatrix stuff or whatever it is, and let these prostitutes tie them up and they tie their old asses up and take their wallet too. Okay, and they need that to happen because they're too damn stupid. I mean, why can't people just be normal anymore? Okay, missionary, they think you slow. You missionary. I mean, what's wrong with missionary? That's how people been having. That's how they asses got here. Okay, missionary. I guess the doggy style. I guess if he working with something, you might can sit on top of him because a lot of them ain't got nothing. It ain't long enough to sit on top of. Okay, and I mean, but people are. I mean, that's what I thought. I guess I'm just old fashioned, but these folks into some twisted stuff. Okay, they into some stuff I've never in my life heard of. Okay, they swinging all from the ceiling. I mean, that's the type of stuff they doing. How you get a pleasure from swinging? What? I don't get that. Like it's just really it's twisted. They definitely trying to exclude normal. Okay. I thought people don't like to make love no more. That's I would think that that's what it's about. The orgasm to me comes from like the mind of being with somebody that your energies just connect and you making love. Okay. But I know when you trying to get $40, you ain't making no, you just trying to get. These girls, unfortunately, they really doing a lot to themselves for to go get their nails done. Okay, I broke that nigga. I charged that nigga. I went and got my girl. You see my nails? Okay, they go get them those long nails. They are really just putting all those miles on their body, and ain't nobody telling them no better. They telling them, sleep with everybody. That's what God gave you that vagina for, to get you to use anything you can use, men and women, to for material things. They don't want to work no more. Girl, I'm sitting on top of a jackpot or whatever they say, a gold mine. I ain't got to go do no work. That's the reason why their ass is stinking and rotten. Okay? Because of how they're dogging their bodies out. Anyways, I wouldn't intend to get into that. Because I get to talk about that Mandarin orange. and that organic stuff. See, they don't know. It's so unfortunate. They don't take care of their bodies and stuff. They just feel like if they start discharging, I mean, I guess they a lot of them won't do nothing. They might. Oh Lord Jesus Christ. Stephen, I never thought I would hear you say that. Okay. But they won't even go to the doctor. I told them that mandarin orange is organic. You put organic chemicals on your vagina. Okay. They don't even know that a vagina ain't supposed to stink. A doctor would tell you that. Everybody got their own smell. No, I ain't. No, everybody ain't got their own smell because the gynecologist said if your vagina has a smell, then it's something wrong. It's not supposed to have not now scent, not unless it's that mandarin orange that I be using, and it's organic. Okay, it's supposed to smell like oranges and lemons and grapes. Okay. And that's because it's organic and it's the stuff that you buy. Okay. I need to get them to advertise for me so I can promote their stuff that I be buying. Miss Muffin says, yeah, because some females leave their ass. I'm telling you, they will be having. You know what? I just think it's a shame. Anytime you go like down to the courts and like anywhere, especially when you go, it's a damn y'all. Okay. Whew. Mm, mm, mm. Okay. I just God needs. I just want God to. Mm, we ain't gonna get into all this today. That's for another. Oh God. That's for a late night show. It's a darn shame. Y'all make sure you all hit the like button for me, okay? Make sure you guys please like, share, and subscribe. But back to Shannon Sharp. I mean, I would be surprised. I think that they shot themselves in the foot or in the feet when they didn't take the 10 million that he wanted them to take to keep it out of the media. They got greedy, and I think that greed is gonna cost them. Okay. And I hope Shannon Sharp get smarter. Okay, he probably had a men to sign the NDAs. He don't make the women sign the NDAs. See, that's what happens. That's what happens. They get. I bet that's what's going on. He get the men to sign the NDAs, but because he don't want it to come out about the men. Hey, Stephanie, she said pineapples are the best for internal. Stephanie, I bought me and y'all. Stephanie is a nurse. Let me tell y'all something. Stephanie, I bought me some pineapples today for my smoothies. I bought me some pineapples today for my smoothies because this morning I made a mango and banana smoothie. It was so good. It was just so filling. So I went to Aldi's today and I got me some like a whole lot of frozen fruits, and I'm gonna make me a pineapple and orange smoothie. But Nurse Love says that pineapples are best for internal. Pineapples are the best for internal absorption. Mm, absorption. Mm. Y'all keep some pineapples in your house. Okay. Keep a lot of pineapples in your house. I bought a real big bag today. I was looking at all this got their frozen fruit on sale. for the vajayjay. Okay, take care of make sure the vajayjay smells. If it has a smell, it is because you have put something down there to make it smell even better. Because Stephanie is a nurse. Stephanie, now my doctor told me that a healthy vagina doesn't have a smell. Okay, so when you start smelling something, that means you need to get your ass on down there to the doctor. Okay. Pineapples are good for human parasites. And drink water, of course, and drink a lot of water. I'm drinking some right now. And then when I go work out, because I'm on my workout kick, okay? I worked out this morning. I'm gonna work out tonight. Stephanie, do you have like any do you know a site that I can go to for like a daily healthy meal plan? Like, cause today I did smoothie and I did eat like a 6-inch Subway sandwich for lunch. And I'm not really hungry, but I am gonna go to the gym again tonight. And I'm going to come in and make me another smoothie, probably. But I'm gonna do a Venezuelan chicken salad tonight. I'm gonna put my little chicken fingers on the grill when I get back. Cypress, not water and cokes. Yes, drink a lot of water to flush out toxins. And I think like a probiotic, it helps with your gut. Like a prebiotic and a probiotic or something like that. I take one every day. It helps with your gut. Are you serious? Subway bread is made from the same thing used in tires? Oh my God. Lord have mercy. Ooh. And you know what? And I went and got that Subway because it's a Subway inside of 201 Poplar. And I was craving some vinegar. I was like, dog, I want some vinegar so bad. I want that oil and vinegar that Subway put on their sandwiches. Does anybody know if Subway sell that oil and vinegar in the grocery store? Because I wants to get it. Because I be having a taste for oil and vinegar. That oil and vinegar. I just want to know, what kind of vinegar do they use? Is it vinaigrette? It's got it. Maybe it's vinaigrette. It's red wine. Okay. So it's red wine and olive oil. Because I can make me a salad and put that on there. Chop my turkey and cheese and stuff up. Red wine vinegar. Okay. Red wine vinegar. I think I got some of that in there. Cypress. You all make sure you all hit the like button for me, okay? Make sure you guys please like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you guys please like, share, and subscribe. She says, my background in the medical field is psychology, but I have seen and smelled it all with my patient population. Yeah. It's like organic sites, like that sell a lot. I love organic stuff. Like when you start thinking about the stuff that like my great grandmother and them used back in the day for vagina health and all of that, like it was herbs and stuff like that. You have small businesses, like there's a small business right now I order so much stuff from. I promise you. And it keeps it it keeps my body regulated. It just it works for me. It does. It works for me. Like those they have those organic rose petal yoni balls that has nothing but like they're really small. They have nothing but organic herbs in it. It really helps to keep your pH balance on point. Okay. And I'm not trying to get nasty or anything like that. I'm talking to the women and the men that have wives and girlfriends. Th- that little ball with those herbs in it, if it works, I promise you it does. It like it helps to keep your pH balance on point. It absolutely 100%. I mean, it has your vagina smelling like roses. Not one time I have a discharge or has it my nothing like that. Chattown finest. I don't know about that. I think what a woman's body does a cleanse on its own. So it ain't all that stuff don't stay up in you. Like a woman's body immediately starts to cleanse itself. So it ain't nothing that ain't supposed to be up in there gonna stay. It's coming out. I mean, it's coming out. The only way that's not coming out is if one, is a baby, the one with the that made the baby. Yeah, make sure y'all hit the like button for me. Okay, make sure you guys please like, share, and subscribe. Okay, please like, share, and subscribe. Who is this? Oh, y'all, it must be one of my kids. It never fails. Darn phone gets it going off. It's way over across the darn room. Hold on. As my grandma say, it must be one of them chillins. Oh, it sure is, Stephanie. Yes, it is. Mm. And you know what the scary thing is, Stephanie? They're not talking about it anymore. Like they are not putting the attention on it that they used to put on it. Wow. Oh my God, that's so sad. Stephanie, what areas would you say that the numbers are higher in, or is it just all over Memphis and Shelby County? What areas would you say that the numbers is higher in? Miss Muffin, Miss Muffin said some women be having dead bodies. Oh, wow. So they are contracting it even before they get their lives started. Oh my God. Mm, mm, mm. Like I said, they're like you don't see. I don't see billboards up like it used to be. I don't see. I just don't see people talking about it. They talk more about COVID than they do about that. 38126 38127 is 38127 Frazier. I know 38109 is Westwood, like part of Whitehaven going back towards Westwood. Oh wow, 38128. What is 38127? Is that the Frazier area? Because remember, for so many years, it was Binghamton had really high numbers. Binghamton and Orange Mound, and those are small little communities in the Memphis area. So it's 38126, 38127, and 38128. That's the Frazier area. My. Lord Jesus. Wow, they've cut out a lot of the federal dollars. And oh my God, that is so 38127 and 38128 is the Fraser and Raleigh area. Wow. So sad. Whew, I tell you. Now that's sad. It really is. They have people out in the field, but maybe they need to start back. Are they putting it on social medias? Yeah, they hate for us to educate. They do. That they do. They hate for us to educate. Wow. You all make sure you all hit the like button for me. Make sure you guys please like, share, and subscribe. Okay. Please like, share, and subscribe. I want you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. I agree, Chat Town. They just want us dead or in jail. I agree. That's so sad. Oh God, that bothers me so much. It does. You all make sure you all hit the like button for me, okay? I want you all to please hit the like button for me. Hey, City Streets TV. I think I'm gonna come back, y'all. When I get settled, cause I want to talk. Y'all know Black Youngster is getting ready to drop an album, so we want to talk about that. Maybe I'll come back on tonight and talk about that. Yeah, maybe I'll come back on tonight and talk about that. So, and some more stuff. I might come back on a freestyle, but I got to get ready to go to the gym so that I can come back and grill my chicken for my salad, and drink my smoothie. Y'all know I am on my health kick journey, and the name of what I call it is, I'm gonna start vlogging about it. My journey back to myself, right? And it is healthy food, healthy habits. Health is wealth. Okay. So if y'all want to join with me, I got up this morning early and I went to the gym. Now, if y'all want to get up and go to the gym and y'all want to text me and stuff, the number is up there. Like, we could be like show support for each other, and we could share recipes and all of that, healthy recipes. Um, yeah, we could do that. But I don't want to get lax because I'm so amped up. Like I said, I went and bought a lot of it's funny she said pine. I bought a really, really big bag of frozen pineapples, and I can't wait until I get back home from the gym tonight, because I think what I'm just gonna do is I'm gonna make me another smoothie, because that mango and banana smoothie that I made this morning was bussing. Okay. And then after I made it, I have some sugar-free vanilla syrup. I put a little bit of the sugar-free vanilla syrup, just a little bit in it. I mean, oh my God, that smoothie was so good. But when I get back home from the gym tonight, I am going to make me a pineapple and orange smoothie. Okay. A pineapple and orange smoothie. Mm-hmm. Hold on, y'all. Let me see. It's because it's cold in my house. Me too, Miss T. I'm waiting on my doctors to send my referral so I can see a dietitian. Yeah, I cannot wait. I'm really excited because, like I said, weight is so easy to gain, and I promise you, like, I would start working out and then I would stop. But I think I'm just really so motivated now to get back down to where I was before. Yeah, I am. I'm really, because even when you gain weight, my, like, I used to wear, like, I could still wear a 8, but now it's like an 8.5. I'm like, oh my God. But when I'm down to my regular size, the 8.5s, they flop on my feet. And a lot of my shoes I bought within the last couple of years in an 8.5. And when I'm down to my regular size, I wear a 7.5. So when you lose weight, your feet lose weight too. So I would have to say my regular shoe size is a 7.5 and an 8. But since I've gained weight, it's an 8.5. So I'm up like a whole shoe size. So yeah. Yes, you guys, make sure make sure and y'all go into the members because Miss Muffin dropped some diamonds in the members the other night. I was trying to keep my eyes open. I wish I could have stayed on longer, but Miss Muffin dropped some diamonds in the members. So y'all make sure y'all go into the members. It was the last members that we did, okay? And see what the diamonds that Miss Muffin had dropped in the members, okay? As we get ready to do like a you know what? I really wish I wish I had like some interns to when if Quet goes to trial. I wish I had some interns to do like a watch party, like a kickoff. Yeah, for the first day of the trial, because I don't believe that the trial is going to be set off anymore. That's why she's not doing any more court dates, any more updates or whatever. Because what's this, May, June, July? So they have 2 months and some change. Okay. They have 2 months and some change. So yeah, they have 2 months and some change. And I think the trial is actually going to happen in July. I do, but you didn't hear Quet's attorney ask for an extension or anything like that thus far. Okay. You didn't hear that. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens if it goes to trial. Because I'm still not convinced that it's gonna go to trial. Even though the trial date has been set. I gotta see. I mean, I believe it when I see it. Anyways, you guys, I got to get off of here and run to the gym so I can do another 1.5 miles, 2 miles. I love you guys. I appreciate the support so much. Okay, you all absolutely rock. If I'm not too bummed out when I get home and grill my chicken for my salad, I'll get back on tonight, okay? If not, I will definitely get back on tomorrow when I get home. I love you guys. We'll talk later.